Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked down, and felt nothing? No stir, no energy, no sign of the man you once were. For millions of men over 60, that silent absence has become a painful new normal. But here's the hard truth most doctors won't tell you. When your morning performance disappears, it's not just about age, it's a warning sign. A flashing red light that your blood flow, your recovery, and your vascular health are all falling behind. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, a men's health physician and researcher with over 30 years of experience treating aging males. And what I've learned in 3 decades of work is this: reclaiming your performance doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts the night before, with something so simple, most men ignore it entirely. You see, there's a strange contradiction that still shocks many of my patients. It's not testosterone injections or hours in the gym that make the biggest difference in your performance. It's what you drink before bed. Yes, what you put in your body in the final hour of your day determines whether you'll wake up with power or with disappointment. And tonight, I'm going to give you the exact drink I recommend to every man over 50 who wants to restore morning strength, improve circulation, and reignite that quiet confidence he once knew. In just a moment, I'll reveal the 3 natural ingredients and why they work so powerfully in aging male bodies. But first, you need to understand what's really happening inside you, and why this forgotten bedtime ritual may be the most important 2 minutes of your entire day. Before we dive in, make sure you've subscribed and turned on the bell. That way, you won't miss any future health advice designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me serve you better. Now, let's begin with the first and most overlooked truth: why so many men over 60 are quietly losing their performance without even realizing it. Because the changes that steal your strength don't happen overnight. They creep in slowly, silently, until one day you wake up and something's missing. 1. The silent decline no one warns you about. When I first started working with older men, I noticed something they all had in common. It wasn't the gray hair or the slower stride. It was a quiet kind of grief. Not the kind that brings tears, but the kind that settles into your bones when a part of you starts to fade without warning. One patient, a retired firefighter in his late 60s, once told me, "Doc, I didn't feel old until I stopped waking up the same way." And I knew exactly what he meant. He wasn't talking about pain or stiffness. He was talking about that unmistakable signal of manhood, the kind of morning energy that used to show up uninvited. This decline doesn't happen all at once. It's not loud or obvious. It sneaks in slowly, almost politely. One night of restless sleep, one morning without energy, one missed signal, then another, and then it's been weeks, months. And you're left wondering if this is just how life is going to be from now on. The truth is, most men don't recognize what's happening inside their bodies until that physical signal disappears. Your blood vessels are gradually losing elasticity. Circulation slows. The body's production of nitric oxide, essential for blood flow, starts to wane. Testosterone begins to drop. Sleep becomes lighter, less restorative. And slowly, your body stops giving you the messages it once did. Not because you're broken, but because no one ever told you this was coming. No one warned you that performance issues start long before the symptoms appear. And because the decline is quiet, most men blame themselves. They feel shame, or worse, they give up. But here's what I tell every man who sits across from me in my office: you are not finished. You're not even close. Your body still knows how to perform. It just needs the right conditions to remember. And that's where your nightly routine comes in. Because while decline may arrive quietly, recovery begins with something even quieter: a small act of nourishment, done consistently. And that brings us to one of the most overlooked healing windows in a man's day. It's not during exercise, it's not during meals. It happens in the hours you're barely conscious, when your body has the greatest chance to rebuild from the inside out. Let's talk about why nighttime is the golden hour for men over 60. 2. Blood flow is everything. I've had men sit in my office, clutching lab results that show decent testosterone, normal cholesterol, even clean cardiac scans. Yet they still felt like something was missing. They'd whisper in frustration, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." And the first thing I ask is always the same: how's your circulation? Because what many men don't realize is that performance, desire, confidence, it all begins and ends with blood flow. Not testosterone, not muscle mass, not motivation, just blood, moving freely and fully, exactly where it needs to go. Your entire sexual response, from the initial spark of arousal to the firmness that defines a healthy erection, depends on how well your blood vessels perform. It's mechanical, yes, but it's also deeply emotional. Because when the body responds, you feel alive, you feel wanted, you feel like a man. But blood vessels don't just stay open on their own. They need elasticity, flexibility, and support from something called nitric oxide, a natural molecule that signals your arteries to relax and widen. In your younger years, your body produced plenty of it, but after 50, that production starts to slow. Your arteries stiffen, your flow becomes more restricted, and little by little, the responsiveness fades. I remember one man in particular. He was 72, in great shape, walking 5 miles a day, but still struggling with performance. He looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I feel strong, but I'm not working where it counts." And he was right, because strength without circulation is like an engine without fuel. You can have all the desire in the world, but if the blood can't reach its destination, nothing happens. What's worse is that many men think this decline is inevitable. They think it's the price of aging. But the truth is, blood flow can be improved at any age. You just need to give your body the right tools. Not more effort, not more pressure, just smarter support. And the most powerful time to restore blood flow isn't during the day. It's at night, when your body finally has the chance to shift out of stress mode and into repair. Coming up next, I'll show you why those quiet nighttime hours are more than just for sleep. They're your body's golden opportunity to heal, reset, and reclaim your vitality, if you know how to use them right. 3. Why nighttime is the golden hour for men over 60. There's something sacred about nighttime, something most people overlook. It's the one time of day when the world quiets down and your body, if allowed, begins to truly repair itself. Yet for many of the men I've worked with, night has become something else entirely. A restless period filled with tossing, bathroom trips, shallow sleep, and waking up more tired than they were before they laid down. And every time they miss that deep restorative rest, they miss an opportunity to heal. You see, your body isn't idle when you sleep. It's doing some of its most important work, especially if you're over 60. While you rest, your blood pressure drops, your heart rate slows, and your parasympathetic nervous system takes over. This is the rest and repair system, and it's where the real magic happens. It's during this window that testosterone is released in small, powerful pulses, fueling tissue repair, libido, and strength. It's also when your body produces more nitric oxide, gently encouraging your blood vessels to expand and stay flexible. But here's the problem. If you go to bed dehydrated, inflamed, stressed, or overfed with processed food and sugar, your body can't do that work. Instead of repairing, it starts defending. Your vessels stay tight, your digestion stays active, your brain stays alert, and you wake up in a fog, your energy drained, your circulation stagnant, and that morning signal missing once again. This is why I always tell my patients that nighttime isn't just for sleeping. It's for recovery. It's the most powerful healing window you get every single day. And the best part? You don't need a complicated routine to take advantage of it. Just a few intentional choices, like what you drink before bed, can shift your body into the state it needs to restore itself fully. I've seen men in their 70s bounce back in ways they didn't think possible, simply by learning how to use the night correctly, not with pills, not with pressure, but with calm, supportive habits that set the body up for success. Now that you understand how crucial this window of time is, let me show you the exact bedtime drink that's helping so many older men wake up stronger, clearer, and more confident without ever leaving their kitchen. This drink isn't just soothing. It's scientifically designed to restore circulation and help you feel like yourself again by morning. 4. The 3-ingredient drink that reverses the clock. Over the years, I've had countless patients ask me the same question. Isn't there something natural I can do, doc? Something simple, without side effects? And my answer is always yes, if you know where to look. The truth is, there are powerful, science-backed ways to support your performance and energy that don't involve prescriptions or expensive supplements. One of the most effective I've ever come across is a drink so simple, it almost sounds too good to be true. But when used consistently, especially before bed, it can create remarkable changes in how your body functions by morning. This drink contains just 3 ingredients: warm water, pure pomegranate juice, and a slice of fresh ginger. That's it. No powders, no chemicals, no gimmicks. But the synergy of these 3 natural elements, when timed right, can help restore circulation, calm inflammation, and activate the healing processes your body needs as it sleeps. I first discovered this combination when working with a patient who didn't want to take pills anymore. He said, "Doc, I'm tired of fighting my body. I want to work with it." That one sentence stuck with me, because that's exactly what this drink does. It works with your body, not against it. The pomegranate juice is packed with polyphenols, which support healthy blood vessel walls and improve oxygen flow. The ginger encourages nitric oxide production and calms the digestive system, giving your body a break. And the warm water? It gently prepares your system for rest, helps with absorption, and reduces tension in your nervous system. This blend isn't meant to act like a switch. It doesn't force your body into action. Instead, it creates the perfect environment for your natural systems to come back online, slowly, steadily, and without stress. And for men over 60, that's exactly what the body needs: a gentle invitation back to strength. What's most surprising is how quickly some men begin to notice change. Not overnight miracles, but a quiet return of energy, better sleep, fewer trips to the bathroom, and that subtle but unmistakable sign of readiness when they wake up. It's not magic. It's nourishment timed correctly. So now that you know what's in the drink and why it works, let's break down how each of these ingredients actually supports blood flow, sleep, and performance on a cellular level. The science behind them might surprise you. 5. How each ingredient supports blood flow, sleep, and erection quality. I remember the first time I really broke down this drink for a patient. He looked at me with raised eyebrows and said, "That's it? Just juice, ginger, and warm water?" I smiled and nodded. Because what looks simple on the surface is doing far more than most people realize, especially when it comes to supporting blood flow, sleep quality, and sexual function in men over 60. Let's start with the pomegranate juice. This rich, red fruit isn't just sweet and tangy, it's one of the most powerful natural sources of polyphenols on the planet. These plant-based compounds work like tiny mechanics inside your blood vessels. They reduce inflammation, repair the delicate lining of your arteries, and help your blood move more freely. Better blood flow means better oxygen delivery to every part of your body, including the parts that matter most for intimacy. Some studies have even shown that regular intake of pomegranate juice can improve erectile response by directly improving circulation. Then there's ginger. Don't let its size fool you. This little root has been used for centuries for good reason. Ginger stimulates nitric oxide production, the very molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and expand. That's the same process pharmaceutical drugs try to mimic, but ginger does it naturally, gently, and without side effects. It also eases your digestive system, which is especially important at night. When your gut is calm, your body can focus more on restoration and hormonal balance. And finally, warm water. It may seem like the least impressive of the 3, but it's actually the foundation. Warm water soothes your nerves, reduces internal stress, and primes your body to absorb nutrients efficiently. It also helps lower nighttime blood pressure and signals the body that it's time to shift into rest and repair mode. Think of it as the gentle key that unlocks the healing door. Combined, these 3 ingredients don't just make a soothing drink, they create a nightly ritual that supports your body's ability to heal, strengthen, and restore performance where you need it most. And when used consistently, they can help reverse some of the most common signs of aging men face, without ever stepping foot in a pharmacy. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at what real men have experienced after using this drink for just 7 days, and how their mornings started to feel like mornings again. 6. What real men are experiencing after 7 days. I'll never forget a phone call I received from a man named Thomas. He was 68, a retired mechanic, and he'd been quietly struggling with low energy and poor performance for years. After hearing about this bedtime drink, he decided to give it a shot. A week later, he called me and said, "Doc, I woke up this morning, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like me again." That kind of message never gets old. Because while clinical studies and science are important, what matters most to me is how real men like you, feel when they finally find something that works. After just 7 days, many men report deeper, more restful sleep. That alone can make a world of difference. They're waking up with less grogginess, fewer bathroom trips during the night, and in some cases, something else they hadn't felt in months, even years. Morning firmness, that quiet signal of vitality returning. It's not loud, it doesn't shout, but it's there. And for many, that's all the confirmation they need to know they're on the right path. One man told me his wife asked him what had changed because he was smiling again in the mornings. Another said he felt more present throughout the day, not just physically, but emotionally. He had more energy, more clarity, and something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Not the kind of false hope that comes from some flashy advertisement or overpriced supplement, but real, grounded hope that maybe, just maybe, his best years weren't behind him after all. That's the power of consistency. Not perfection, not pressure, just a small commitment repeated night after night. And while this drink isn't a miracle cure, it is a reliable support tool, one that works with your body to unlock what's still possible. And if this is what can happen in just 1 week, imagine what changes you could see in 1 month. But to make that happen, you need to turn this drink from a one-time experiment into something deeper, something you actually look forward to. So let me show you how to turn this drink into a nightly ritual that feeds not just your body, but your mind and spirit too. 7. Turn a drink into a ritual. It's easy to dismiss a drink as just that, something you sip, swallow, and move on from. But the truth is, when done with intention, this small act can become something far more meaningful. I've seen it happen time and time again. A man starts with this simple blend of pomegranate juice, ginger, and warm water because he wants better mornings. But over time, what he gains is something deeper, a sense of control, of calm, of connection to himself again. There's something powerful about giving yourself 5 quiet minutes before bed. No screens, no news, no noise, just you, your drink, and your thoughts. It becomes more than a habit. It becomes a moment of respect for your body, for your age, for your journey. I had one patient, a 74-year-old retired school teacher, tell me that his nightly drink had become his anchor. He said, "It's the one part of my day where I'm not chasing, not fixing, not worrying. I'm just giving back to myself." And that's exactly what this ritual does. It tells your nervous system, you're safe now, it's time to rest. It tells your blood vessels, you're supported, you don't have to fight tonight. It tells your hormones, your muscles, your brain, this is your chance to heal. You don't need candles or music or fancy routines. You just need intention. Take a short walk after dinner. Let your mind slow down. Then go to your kitchen, warm the water, pour the juice, slice the ginger. Stir slowly, breathe, sip without rushing. You're not just preparing your body for sleep, you're preparing it to recover, to restore, to respond. What I love most is that this ritual meets you exactly where you are. Whether you're in great shape or struggling, whether you've been ignoring your health or nurturing it, it welcomes you without judgment. And with each night, it gets easier. It becomes something you don't want to skip because you start to feel the difference. Not in dramatic ways, but in real, steady improvements. And if you're ready to take it even further, there's one simple addition you can make to amplify everything this drink is already doing. It doesn't take long, it doesn't take effort, but it just might change how deeply your body heals overnight. Let me show you what that is. 8. Addressing the skeptics. I understand the doubt. I truly do. After all, we live in a world that promises quick fixes, miracle pills, and flashy solutions that rarely deliver. So when I tell a man that a simple drink and a small nightly routine can change how he feels in the morning, I expect the raised eyebrows. I expect the quiet hesitation, the "come on, doc, really?" look, and I don't blame them, because I've seen that look before, many times. One man I worked with, a 70-year-old retired Army sergeant, told me straight out, "If this doesn't burn or buzz or hit me like a truck, I don't think it'll do anything." And I smiled. Because what his body needed at this stage in life wasn't force, it was support. It wasn't another shock to the system. It was relief. And that's what this nightly habit is designed to give. See, we've been trained to believe that health has to be hard, that if it doesn't hurt, it's not working. But the body, especially after 60, doesn't respond to pressure the way it used to. It responds to consistency, to nourishment, to calm. That's why this drink, as gentle as it seems, can be so powerful. It doesn't try to override your biology. It works with it, night after night, reinforcing what age has slowly stripped away. So if you're skeptical, that's okay. Healthy skepticism means you care. But I'd ask you to consider this. What if the answer isn't louder or stronger or harder? What if it's quieter, simpler, and more natural than you thought? What if you don't need to fight your body, but instead just need to finally start listening to it? Because your body wants to respond. It wants to heal. It wants to restore that sense of vitality you used to wake up with. You just have to give it the chance. And if you're ready to take that chance, there's one more step you can take. An addition so simple, it won't even break a sweat, but it can amplify the effects of everything you've already started. Let me show you how movement, done the right way at the right time, can unlock even more power while you sleep. 9. Small acts, big results. I've been in this field long enough to know that men often underestimate the power of small, repeated actions. They want big wins, fast changes, something dramatic they can feel right away. And I get it. When something as personal as your vitality fades, you want it back yesterday. But what I've come to see, time and time again, is that the most meaningful results come not from force, but from consistency. One of my patients, Richard, 66, told me something I'll never forget. He said, "Doc, I spent years trying to fix everything overnight. I tried intense workouts, expensive pills, even risky treatments. None of it stuck. But once I started doing these small things, just drinking the mix, moving a little at night, paying attention to my sleep, everything began to change." He didn't say it happened in a flash. He said it happened in layers, like his body slowly waking back up after years of being on autopilot. And that's exactly how it works. The warm drink each night hydrates your cells. The ginger calms inflammation. The pomegranate supports blood flow. That quiet evening movement, just 10 minutes of stretching or walking, signals your nervous system to relax. Each small act tells your body, you are safe, you are supported, you can heal now. These aren't just health tips, they're signals. Signals to your blood vessels to open, to your hormones to balance, to your muscles to recover. When done night after night, they build momentum, and suddenly, that morning fog starts to lift. Your strength returns, not just physically, but emotionally. You don't just wake up with energy, you wake up with clarity, with purpose, with a sense that your body is no longer dragging behind your will. I often tell men, it's not the hardest work that gets you there, it's the work you're willing to do every day. You don't need more strain, you need rhythm, something your body can count on. And now that you know what's possible from something so simple, let's bring it all home. Let me share with you what I believe is the real reason this nightly habit works, not just in your body, but deep in your identity as a man. Because at the heart of it all, this is about more than just performance. It's about reclaiming who you are. 10. Final thoughts from Dr. Khera. I've spent my entire career helping men reconnect with their strength, not just in the body, but in spirit. And over the years, I've come to believe something deeply, that aging isn't a decline, it's a transition. But it's only a graceful one if we choose to meet it with care. I've sat across from men who've lost hope, who believed the best parts of life were behind them. And I've watched those same men transform, bit by bit, as they began to show up for themselves again. This nightly drink, this simple ritual, it's not just about better blood flow or firmer mornings. It's about honoring your body in a world that constantly tells you to push through, to tough it out, to pretend like nothing's changing. But something is changing. And the truth is, that's not something to fear. That's something to respond to, with wisdom, with gentleness, with action. There's dignity in doing something good for yourself every single night. There's quiet strength in choosing to prepare your body for rest and recovery, instead of numbing it with screens or snacks or stress. When you take 5 minutes to warm the water, slice the ginger, pour the juice, you're not just making a drink, you're making a promise. A promise that says, I still matter, I'm still in this game, and I'm not giving up on myself. And that, I believe, is what makes this routine so powerful. It's not that the ingredients are magical, it's that your intention gives them power. When you care for your body with consistency, your body responds. It wakes up, it remembers, it starts to trust you again. You don't need to chase your 20s, you don't need to prove anything. But you do need to believe that this version of you, wiser, experienced, more grounded, deserves to feel strong, confident, and alive, because you do. And if you've made it this far with me, then you already have what it takes. So now, in the final moments of this message, let me leave you with one last thought. One quiet truth that most men never hear, but every man deserves to know. Because this isn't just about how you feel tomorrow. It's about how you live the rest of your life. Let's talk about that. 11. Conclusion. If you've been listening closely, then you already know this wasn't just about a drink. It was about something much deeper. We talked about what really changes after 60, the slow, quiet shifts in blood flow, energy, sleep, and the sense of manhood that sometimes seems to fade without warning. We uncovered why those morning signals matter so much. Not just biologically, but emotionally. We looked at how sleep, blood circulation, nitric oxide, and even your nightly routine play into something bigger. Your ability to feel strong, alive, and connected to yourself again. And then we broke it down. One simple drink. 3 ingredients. Warm water, pomegranate juice, and ginger. Each with a purpose. Each working together to support your body in the hours when it heals best. We talked about how this becomes more than a beverage. It becomes a ritual, a signal to your system that you are still worth taking care of. We heard real stories from real men who started sleeping better, waking up clearer, and feeling a little more like themselves again. Not because of magic, not because of hype, but because they chose to show up for themselves each night with something small, consistent, and meaningful. I've seen what happens when a man commits to that. He changes. Not just in how he performs, but in how he walks, how he speaks, how he sees himself. That's the part I love most about my work. Seeing a man come back to life, quietly, confidently, on his own terms. So tonight, I hope you'll take a moment, just 5 minutes, for yourself. Make the drink, breathe, give your body the space it's been asking for. You don't have to do everything at once, you don't have to be perfect, but you do have to begin. Because this isn't about chasing youth, it's about honoring the man you are now, wiser, experienced, and still full of life. You haven't missed your chance, you're not too far gone, and the road back to vitality doesn't start with pressure, it starts with care. Your body is listening. The question is, what will you tell it tonight? If this message spoke to you, if you felt seen, understood, or even just a little more hopeful, then I invite you to take one simple step in return. Click that like button to let me know this kind of content matters. Share this video with another man in your life who might need to hear it, whether it's your brother, your father, or a friend quietly struggling and unsure where to turn. And drop a comment below. Tell me how you're feeling, what you're going through, or even just say, I'm in. Your voice matters more than you know. And if you found real value here and would like to support the continued creation of honest, compassionate men's health content like this, consider making a small donation. Every contribution helps keep this message alive and reaching more men who need it. You'll find the donation link in the description below. This channel isn't about trends or hype. It's about truth, support, and real solutions for real men. Thank you for being here, and for showing up not just for me, but for yourself. Let's keep building something that matters together.